Conclusion. Peace is every step. Mindfulness is the energy of being aware and awake in the present moment. It is the continuous practice of touching life deeply in every moment of daily life. To be mindful is to be truly alive, present and at one with those around you and what you are doing. We bring our body and mind into harmony while we wash the dishes, drive the car, or take our morning shower. What follows are several selections from the 14 mindfulness trainings of the Order of Interbeing, a Zen Buddhist community founded by world-famous peace activist Thich Nhat Hanh. Read each one slowly and consider not just the text, but the emotion, the compassion, and the love behind the words. Dwelling happily in the moment. Aware that life is available only in the present moment, and it is possible to live happily in the here and now, I am committed to training myself to live deeply each moment of daily life. I will try not to lose myself in dispersion or be carried away by regrets about the past, worries about the future, or craving, anger, or jealousy in the present. I will practice mindful breathing to come back to what is happening in the present moment. I am determined to learn the art of mindful living by touching the wondrous, refreshing, and healing elements that are inside and around me, and by nourishing seeds of joy, peace, love, and understanding in myself, thus facilitating the work of transformation and healing in my consciousness. Awareness of suffering. Aware that looking deeply at the nature of suffering can help me develop compassion and find ways out of suffering, I am determined not to avoid or close my eyes before suffering. I am committed to finding ways, including personal contact, images, and sounds, to be with those who suffer, so I can understand their situation deeply and help them transform their suffering into compassion, peace, and joy. Dealing with anger. Aware that anger blocks communication and creates suffering, I am determined to take care of the energy of anger when it arises and to recognize and transform the seeds of anger that lie deep in my consciousness. When anger comes up, I am determined not to do or say anything, but to practice mindful breathing or mindful walking and acknowledge, embrace, and look deeply into my anger. I will learn to look with the eyes of compassion on those I think are the cause of my anger. Truthful and loving speech. Aware that words can create suffering or happiness, I am committed to learning to speak truthfully and constructively, using only words that inspire hope and confidence. I am determined not to say untruthful things for the sake of personal interest or to impress people, nor to utter words that might cause division or hatred. I will not spread news that I do not know for certain, nor criticize or condemn things of which I am not sure. I will do my best to speak out about situations of injustice, even when doing so may threaten my safety. Reverence for life. Aware that much suffering is caused by war and conflict, I am determined to cultivate nonviolence, understanding, and compassion in my daily life, to promote peace education, mindful mediation, and reconciliation within families, communities, and nations, and in the world. I am determined not to kill and not to let others kill. I will diligently practice deep looking with my community to discover better ways to protect life and prevent war. Manifesto. Inspired by the life story, the peace work, and the engaged Buddhism of Thich Nhat Hanh, the United Nations published Manifesto 2000, an international peace manifesto. In fact, the United Nations declared the year 2000 International Year for the Culture of Peace, IYCP. The goal was, and still is, to mobilize public opinion so as to accelerate the transition from a culture of war and violence to a culture of peace and nonviolence. The UN manifesto challenges each one of us to 1. Respect all life. Respect the life and dignity of each human being without discrimination and prejudice. 2. Reject violence. Practice active nonviolence, rejecting violence in all its forms: physical, sexual, psychological, economical, and social, in particular towards the most deprived and vulnerable, such as children and adolescents. 3. Share with others. Share my time and material resources in a spirit of generosity to put an end to exclusion, injustice, and political and economic oppression. 4. Listen to understand. Defend freedom of expression and cultural diversity, giving preference always to dialogue and listening without engaging in fanaticism, defamation, and the rejection of others. 5. Preserve the planet. Promote consumer behavior that is responsible and development practices that respect all forms of life and preserve the balance of nature on the planet. 6. Rediscover solidarity. Contribute to the development of my community with the full participation of women and respect for democratic principles in order to create together a new form of solidarity. Cultivating peace is like cultivating plants in that they both take root and grow. These 6 priorities show us that the culture of peace spirals outward, that it is a way of doing things that propagates to all levels. It begins within oneself and the home, spreads out to the community, then on the regional, national, and international levels.